So I'm grateful for the opportunity to talk on behalf of the wildlife. A few years ago now, when the next PR team came to Waltham Abbey, there was a public meeting and I asked a question about the effect of such a development on the local wildlife. We were told that the site in question was of little ecological value, it's scrubland. However, in their own ecological report, which was published by Southern Ecological Solutions in 2019, I would say that gives a very different story. As we know, the site is within touching distance of Epping Forest, a special area of conservation, a site of special scientific interest, and that forest is not just a local or national level of importance, but also of international importance. It's extremely rare and one of the few remaining large-scale examples of ancient pasture in lowland Britain. So, to put it in context, because the site in question is so near to the forest, I don't think it can be argued that the effect on the ecology and the wildlife on the site is not going to affect the SAC. And although it's been asserted that there's no disagreement about the effect on the SAC, now I would suggest that the conservators of Epping Forest won't agree with that one. So just to give an example of some of the species on the land, and I have taken this from their own report. Some of the surveys go back many, many years. It's probably, I think it was published in 2019, so it's already a bit old. There were 32 species of birds noted, 15 breeding. 8 were birds on the birds of conservation concern list on the red list. So that means they have declined greatly and they're considered to be endangered. The Birds of Conservation Concern report is something that's undertaken by groups of environmentalists, including the RSPB and the British Trust for Ornithology. There was also 5 birds which were listed on the amber list. Since that report, there has been another one published in December 21. And on the original ecological report, greenfinch were stated as being on the green list and they're on the site. The greenfinch are now listed as a bird of conservation concern, now on the red list. So that is of great concern. There are 14 records of skylark there, they were also on the red list. In addition, the wood pigeon, which was also green in the assessment, is now on the amber list. But also in fairness of balance, the song thrush and the redwing, which were on the red list, have now moved to the amber, but they're still classed as being near to the red list. Other important ecological things to be aware, it's likely, and this is taken from the report, likely that several species of widespread but declining moth present utilising the shrub and grassland habitats, small assemblage and low in numbers, but being species of principal importance under the National Environment and Rural Communities Act 2006. Badger, protected under the Wildlife and Countryside Act 1992, they use the land for foraging and commuting. Bats, protected under the Wildlife and Countryside Act 1981 as amended, and also the Conservation and Habitats Species Regulation 2017 as amended. According to the report, there were 3 confirmed species and a possible 4 further species, the common and soprano pipistrelles. They include. There were a number of rarer bats recorded in 2017, including the Liza's bat passes. The habitat is considered to have the potential to support any of the bat species listed in a roosting, commuting and/or foraging capacity. Another example of how I feel that the SAC cannot be set apart from this land is that another example, stag beetle. That is rare. It's considered a species of a principal importance under the NECA Act of 2006, and in the Habitats Regulation Assessment document of September 2019, they were noted within the SAC, and they live within Epping Forest and not many other areas, I understand. Land adjacent to the site may contain mature or veteran trees which provide a valuable supplementary habitat, which is dead wood. Hedgehog. They weren't seen during the report, but it was alluded to that it was considered likely that hedgehogs are utilising the habitats on the site. And you probably wouldn't see hedgehogs anyway unless you were out there in the evening. Hedgerow. The hedgerows on the site are considered to meet the UK BAP, which is the Biodiversity Action Plan, and the NECR Act, Priority Habitat Description for hedgerows, and are considered important under the Hedgerows Regulations 1997. I would say that the loss of habitat within phase 1 would include hedgerow, although perhaps new habitats would be created. There's less scope for mitigation for extensive low-lying habitats would be entirely lost. Although replacement hedging may be planted, it seems unlikely that could ever fully mitigate established habitats which have been present for many years. We all know that wildlife is in freefall, and scientists are demanding action to prevent nature loss. A development such as this on a site which is actually rich in wildlife, contrary to what Next have asserted, and includes rare and protected species so near to the SAC, is completely inappropriate. We need to protect the SAC with vigour, otherwise future generations will not have the chance to enjoy such a rare and beautiful area, and many more species will continue to decline and suffer. Can I also just say that I have been involved in this since before the first application went in. There's a considerable feeling against it from local residents. There's a Say No to Next Facebook group with over 700 members on there. And there was an original petition which over 2,000 people signed. And I think there's lots of concern for all sorts of different reasons, but I've chosen to speak about the wildlife because it's not something that is really, I don't feel very well considered, and they're not represented. Thank you very much.